YouTube, Jujube here. Welcome back to the channel. Now we are playing another 3v3, this time in Total War Rome 2. And same opponents, so we do have a very good line of communication going. And this time I'm going to be taking the RDAI, and my teammates are going to be taking Athens and Armenia respectively. Now our opponents, I don't know if you guys remember for the last game, but they seem to be really digging the roles of each player. So we've got one player playing Bactria and then the other two playing Egypt. So it looks like one of the players is playing as the pike player, because there's a lot of these thorax pikemen, fairly good pikeman units. And then there's a lot of these Persian light archers up the front brought by the Bactrian player, and then a couple of these Bactrian peltasts behind then. And then I'm assuming the other player must be playing, you know, auxiliary units in these thorax swordsmen, Sobek cultists, Thraeus spears, light cavalry, all this kind of mishmash of units. A lot of Galatian swordsmen over here actually. So they've been overloaded onto this flank. I think it might be, yeah, another Galatian swordsman over there. Sobek cultist, Royal peltast, Royal thorax swordsman. So lots of very expensive units in the center there. So I spawned all the way back here, and I had to make a run for it to try and catch up with my teammates here. I'm actually going to be quite tired from the run. The first fair bit of this match, we were kind of, you know, relocating and that kind of thing. We saw that he had lots of pikes in the center, so we were going to organize a fake front line in the center here. And you can see I'm bringing my Illyrian Marines over into the center. And eventually you're going to see my teammates peel off to the side there to try and get a flank on. And I'm going to do the same on this flank as well. And hopefully do a bit of a push. So the Illyrian Marines have lots of javelins. And with those javelins, I'm going to hopefully focus fire on a couple of these thorax pikemen and destroy them. I'm going to just introduce my army very quickly. I think I've got 5 of these Illyrian noble fighters. Yep, 5. Out the flanks, I've got 4 mercenary axe warriors, 2 on each side. Up the front, I've got 2 of these mercenary Celtic warriors as speed bumps. And 1, 2, 3, 4 slave slingers that are hopefully going to absorb a lot of fire from the enemy Persian light archers and peltasts and all kinds of things. And I'm going to return fire and hopefully weaken a bunch of his pikemen. Because if we don't take out his pikemen, then we're screwed. If we get to the late game and he has pikes and we don't have enough ammo to deal with those pikes, then we're done. Like, it's game over. So I'm going to put it back into play here. So you can see he brought up a couple of units. We're threatening with a couple of them. And I'm going to return fire with my slave slingers. I'm hoping to focus fire on a couple of these Galatian swordsmen. He does have a couple of... Where am I? I thought he had really expensive units around here somewhere. Okay, it's just Galatian swordsmen. Alright. So yeah, he's got a couple of these Galatian swordsmen over here. I'm hoping to focus fire on those guys and do a fair bit of damage wherever I can. He's got a couple of these Sobek cultists as well. These guys give off a fairly good fear effect in their vicinity. So hopefully... Or not hopefully for me, but he may be hoping to use them in that respect in this match. So you're going to see me move up my troops. My teammate here, or most of them are going to be going around the sides. Yeah, you can see they're not like the best players ever, but again, like the communication was great. Like, we were always talking about who's doing what, you know, what our roles are and that kind of thing. And we were going to hopefully time our push so that we would kind of overwhelm the enemy at the right time. So you can see this is the perfect place for my troops to be standing. So I'm going to put my slingers into these trees at one point. Yeah, here we go. And once they're in those trees, they'll get a nice bonus to their missile block chance and armor and that kind of thing. So shooting into the trees is definitely not a good idea. Hiding troops, but slow movement. So it also stops a lot of the missiles from coming through as well. So the skirmishing engagement is going to go pretty well for me over on this flank. There's only 2 of these Persian light archers. He's got a couple of these 4 of these Bactrian peltasts up the back, which are fairly good units, but they don't have the range to deal with my own units. He's doing a fairly odd formation here with his Thoraya spears. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. He is threatening with these light cav. They are light melee cavs, so they're definitely not going to last in any. Yep, so it's at this point that he turns around his Galatian swordsman, and I'm going to make them pay. I'm just going to train all 3 of my my slave slingers on this unit and just ruin them from behind. So 96, 95, getting plenty of kills there. Wow, just ruining it. 75 men left in that unit, and we've probably got enough time for another volley here. Do we? Nah. Yeah, there we go. So down to less than half strength there. So a bit of a mistake from my opponent there. So now we've resumed the attack on the Thorax pike line. So my Illyrian Marines, I've got 2 of them trained in on this one pikeman. They do have pretty good armor, I believe. How much is their armor? 65, so it's pretty good. They'll be able to take quite a bit of damage, but once we start rolling into these shots, they'll start falling. Like, we got 3 losses over here. Yeah, pretty good. These Illyrian Marines are very good units. I really enjoy bringing them. The RDAI, a lot of people say the RDAI are not really a great faction, but I feel like they are. I feel like they are one of the good factions. Absolutely, they're one of the good factions. They've got great hoplites in the center. Like, Illyrian Noble hoplites are sick. They have, like, I'm pretty sure it's the highest armor of any unit in the game. These slave slingers are amazing, awesome missile block chance. And they have a lot of ammo like they would, and they're very, very, very cheap. I got a fairly good jav toss into his Persian light archers with my own Celtic warriors. And I'm also getting some nice shots into their backs as they run away. So skirmishing engagement going very well for me at the moment. And we've resumed our fire on this Galatian swordsman. I really should be firing into this Thorax pikeman here, but you know, tough titties. So 84 men left in this one, 110, 108, 91, 118, so 120. So definitely trying to focus in on killing the enemy pikes. Wow, this Thorax hoplite getting ripped up by these Persian light archers. Not really making it into combat properly. And these Thracian peltasts are going to get ruined. So it's at this point, I think they could have done alright if they just held back. But it looks like the Thorax pikeman line is going to push, which is definitely not going to work for them. I managed to get a nice jav toss into these units, but you're going to see me kind of wrap around and see if I can get rear charges into the enemy units. Just kind of confuse their formation a little bit, because there's no way I'm going up against them head on. That is just absolutely just suicide. So again, another axe warrior. I'm just going to pull him aside and see if I can get some good shots. I do still have some javelins left, so I'm going to fire the rest of them onto each unit. But yeah, you can see getting into the rear of this this pikeman, it's not going to last very long. And wherever the opponent does have a good charge on me, I'm just going to run away. So again, another Celtic warrior going to go into the back of this pikeman. Pikemen are okay, but you have to babysit them, absolutely. These mercenary axe warriors going up frontally, I'm going to have to pull that back eventually. And again, we've ruined 2 of these pikemen already, so doing okay, and I haven't even engaged in the center. Illyrian Noble hoplites, I just chased off a light cav, and now I'm going to have to attack these 3S spears head on. They're getting a couple of kills off the charge there. My opponent's wrapping around this flank, doing a fairly good job there. Getting some good jav tosses into the rear of this pikeman, but he is pushing with another one, so I'm going to have to pull back. But again, I'm getting ready with another Illyrian Marine for another rear charge. In the center, all of his pikemen are crumbling. We are attacking his... oh, here comes the Sobek cultists here. So he's got one of them, or 2 of them coming up against my Celtic warriors, so I don't mind that. I'm okay to leave them in that engagement. So in the center, we've got Galatian swordsmen coming up against my Illyrian Noble hoplites. Probably not going to do too good when I do have, you know, mercenary axe warriors and another Illyrian Noble hoplite coming into the flank. And it's a very similar situation over here. Mercenary axe warriors attacking Thoraya spears. That's a perfect engagement for my axe warriors there. Illyrian Noble hoplites are bugging out with their shield or hoplite wall formation. And we did manage to destroy this pike line. So no doubt our opponent is probably getting fairly fairly frustrated at this point, to say the least. We've managed to outclass them in both matches and do our jobs fairly well. Again, Slave Slinger's getting nice shots into the... Oh no, it's not really the rear. But these Sobek Cultists, they're getting quite a few kills, 47, 51, especially against Illyrian Noble Hoplites. The Royal Thorax General over here is about to get charged in the rear from a Mercenary Axe Warrior. So this is absolutely how you should be using your units. So Illyrian Marine in a square formation, because I know I'm not going to win that fight. And then I've got my Mercenary Axe Warriors just throwing their javelins before I charge in. So again, turning a lot of these units into porcupines before I charge in with my armor-piercing Axe Warriors. So it'll take him a long time to kill off those Illyrian Marines. Actually, it will not, because they are crumbling now from army losses. So Sobek Cultists getting just defeated by my Illyrian Noble Hoplites, and over on this flank I'm wrapping up these Thoraeus Spears. They could never win that fight. But he does have one Thorax Pikeman left that we didn't manage to deal with. But you can see how, like, the RDAI are sick. Like, I feel like they are amazing. Whenever I bring them, I always seem to do well. It doesn't always happen. But the RDAI, I always seem to do okay. Whether I win or lose, I always seem to do okay. Just because they have an amazing roster, like a very good selection of units. Mercenary Celtic Warriors, Mercenary Axe Warriors. Unfortunately, you can only bring 4 of each. But, you know, with the help of these Slave Slingers and especially these Illyrian Marines, like, it's just an unbeatable formula. It's just a shame they don't have very good cav. But I mean, I don't know. I don't tend to use cav so much either, so... yeah, good kills in the Slave Slingers, I guess. I guess we absorbed a lot of fire from the enemy units. Royal Thorax Swordsman getting a lot of kills. These Pikemen not really doing a whole lot of anything. Thracian Peltas doing a very good job over there, and the Thracian Warriors doing alright. So pretty good use of those units. The Hepaeus Lancer wasn't watching them for the whole match, but apparently they did get a lot of kills. Eastern Cataphracts doing a great job. And our opponents, not really... Yeah, Royal Thorax General doing okay. And the Royal Peltas getting some kills, as you'd expect. Sobek Cultists, I mean, you could just bring 1, really. I don't think you need to bring 3. And these light cav are useless. Like, you charge them into anything and they're going to die almost instantly. So the only use for light cav is against light, you know, units. And in that situation, they're only going to really be good against enemy skirmishers as well. So, but thanks, dudes, for the game. Really nice to be playing with people who actually communicate and organize themselves properly. So thanks, Joe Cool and Sad Eagle. Good players, good game, good match. Thanks for watching, guys. Jujubao signing out. Bye.